I believe say fumble we dey na social media. Fumble we get fumble na salon. Fumble we get fumble we get fumble we get fumble na salon. From the 1st of December, today na the 4th of December on a Saturday, Freetown get blackout. What happen when Freetown get blackout? Now because the KARPOWERSHIP wey dey na water, where they supply we light, they not pay them, so then turn the engine off. How did we get to this? How did we get to, if KARPOWERSHIP turn generator off, everybody go suffer? How did we get to that? Then they try to tell me, say, there is no alternative apart from KARPOWERSHIP. That's why we see last year, the Minister of Energy go sign 5 years contract with KARPOWERSHIP. Now we see how KARPOWERSHIP can a salon. Now the APC na dem be count. For meet up that election term, they use them for threatening, say them go give lights with them. But the APC never use KARPOWERSHIP. I don't know if you know that. Even the day, the plants were there. Then they use a number for tilowi. So the Turkish people they will get them ship. Let's have them wait. Well, thing done. Then what can them wait through this administration? This administration back with the tower, the ship be there. Then they not agree go then tell them, say, but no worry, una dey na the water no more. Na dey come it sooner. Then go meet them. This administration tell we say they even get a very good deal. Pass the deal where them be done they talk. The deal where them be done they talk with the KARPOWERSHIP. Because at that time for meet up the election, then we get for do all the wiring from the ship for Cam, na Kintom and all these things. So then be there for that one day. Okay. But KARPOWERSHIP, as best to my knowledge, unless if you know something we me no know, they not be turn that engine they on. Now on this administration, now the KARPOWERSHIP can turn the engine on. After the while, we don't get a deal with them. And this administration make much to we. Say even the KARPOWERSHIP, we save almost $1 million. Now we save. When on this particular program, I question that. I question say, if we make good deal, why will the people of Sierra Leone not they feel am? And that turning for meet up the first anniversary. Go back, go listen to the program, the first anniversary of this particular administration. I say, now the 10 this way, then for be able to show we say, we save right now, at that time, when you buy 50,000 leons, the cutoff mark can be 50,000 leons from the first tier. Then get different category. As we speak now, who side where you pay 50,000 leons? If you go 51,000 leons or 1,000 leons, then they double charge them. Now 25,000 leons. Anything above 25,000, what you put on top that 25,000 leons, then they double charge them. So you don't use per smack. This now after they don't say they don't get good deal. Not to the first and this KARPOWERSHIP they turn off. But this one, you don't see. Because now the 4th day, called Salon today, still blackout day. Not to this way one for start the festive season. Not to this way. But again, the people then turn the engine off because what around say government owe them past $millions. we go on for ask you say they send a subsidy where the government in for pay to them. So how una get this good deal now where even subsidy they inside? How una get this good deal on tell we when subsidy don't they we don't run to millions of dollars? And how much will they pay? And we come to electricity, EDSA, where now then they generate and distribute. Then self not even transparent. How much then they pay for 1 kilowatt? How much will they pay? They're not transparent. So inside this thing now, we don't go south this December. I know say they go tell the KARPOWERSHIP, say, no worry you. Not turn them off December 1. The last light we then see at the 30th of November. But wait too. So that means say the only light source where we will get na KARPOWERSHIP. So nothing no they again what they use. We KARPOWERSHIP down. The city day in pitch black. Why? So Susan 1, Susan 4 will be the Eritrea day. There was no say okay the KARPOWERSHIP day just in case the KARPOWERSHIP get a few maintenance and breakdown we go able to get this sustainable. Now I make KARPOWERSHIP whenever they get problem quick they don't call another ship for Kainsai for provide the light because it look like if we say we lights now don't depend on ship now water period. Bumbuna phase 1, Bumbuna phase 2, Bumbuna this, Bumbuna that. Salute. When we go move, darkness safe na life, you know, fine. Hey, darkness or dirty. When are the two things we see in a salon, you know, I don't go before. But anyway, this will not go left and so. Global Times. Some people always sabi say Global Times. Now the SLPP government, somebody we did it, na get am. So the lens we then can use. But anyway, don't forget about that one day. This now waiting Global Times then see. The management of KARPOWERSHIP. That ship where they provide lights for we pack and we water. Where they pollute we nation back. Now just like we get generator on our house. And in a big one. It did it. That one they get sound. Yeah. Alright. Now they go. The KARPOWERSHIP don't decide for switch off the machine. What's in do? The Ministry of Finance fail for pay energy subsidy. Where we already say na millions of United States dollars now. They say this decision for turn off the ship on the 1st of December. They no do mago kalio. Yes, let me make that word say. Mago kali. Not to mago then do am. Quick one no. And say no to so then do am. According to sources, we tell Global Times. They say the ship management writes letter to the Ministry of Finance. They remind them boku them for say finance. This payment I don't say now. But finance, they take the letter and buy granite, patch granite with them. Or then take the letter, then wrap out roast corn. Or then take the letter, go do number 2 na bush with them. Then they even acknowledge KARPOWERSHIP say self then receive the letter. For the past 7 months, the Ministry of Finance not pay KARPOWERSHIP for the contract with the NEPA. The Ministry of Finance get their own subsidy with they pay to the KARPOWERSHIP. Eh? Hi! They don't pay 7 months. But with the people of Sierra Leone, me, you go right on me meter. Money did it. But lights not it. How you call that? You take me money. Lights not it. You go tell me, say, how much sooner they pay safe? The government even they subsidize and pant up the bagging. Oh, thank you. But the government pay. So me, don't pay me own portion. This is the same thing the government of Sierra Leone is doing always. When they say project, when they go say government give 1%, development partners then give 99%. The 99% go don't give all your own. The 1% number for government, then go the drag foot. The previous one, no, this one, no. For say we no sabi run government ba. Eh? For say we no sabi. Aye. But let's continue. 7 months. Then they make babuyai. Then they make I don't care by the KARPOWERSHIP. So the KARPOWERSHIP say okay. Una no worry. And then I go catch and say na December and then for do amo. But after they don't talk, they're not able. Then say KARPOWERSHIP now feel to say Ministry of Finance, they're not serious for paying the money where they owe them as the subsidy. So the KARPOWERSHIP management say 50% down payment. Now they for pay them now. Before then go put the generator on back. 50% of what they owe them. They for pay them now. Before then go start that ship day again. So Ministry of Finance say that 50% on a talk. It's in a KARPOWERSHIP. Look, oh, these people provided. How we feel say investor go come first bar. Until we work out so they look for investor. Then people there come, then provide service. This is a service we don't already utilize. Service we don't already utilize. The people then come, then provide service. After providing this service, the government of Sierra Leone gets the young part for play. They refuse for pay the money. But we still they go out so they go look for investors. The one they will come, they can regret. Not to out of joy, KARPOWERSHIP go turn off the ship. Not to out of joy. Now out of frustration. Say about 7 months. 7 months. Alright. Una no pay we. So now we they tell una say 50% before we go turn the ship on again. Yeah, you went to Ministry of Finance say. Ministry of Finance say, and they tell Global Times soon. Say the payment plan where KARPOWERSHIP carry it to the ministry, they reject them. So Una owe the person say una pay me 50% before I go turn her. Then una say una need to do her. Eh? Are we really serious? Eh? We really serious? Hiya. Eh? You owe me money, an investor. You owe her money. The man say, I don't provide the service already. Service provided. Not so for in advance. But something that... What is going on here? He said the plan would then count for say that 50%, then reject and then they do it. So how much una want pay? Then una fi say KARPOWERSHIP. Una don't go Turkey. We don't go open embassy. Or every time the last time the president go there, say investors there. If we say the KARPOWERSHIP don't go tell anyone and they say, but they are not serious. Eh? If we say they don't go tell them, say the tiwa who they pass now with them people there. Look at they don't come under. Not so serious people there. Look there, oh we passport don't turn with ship on. Now the 4 days this. We tell them say 50%, let them give you. Then say no, they know they do. What if KARPOWERSHIP say bitawa say 100%? Pass una pay we all the way to una owe we before we turn them on. Then say 50%. Finance say no. Where the money? Finance na money no dey ba una waiting. Eh? Okay. Then say. Then they do am. So Global Times in they say, this particular thing they show say, Ministry of Finance, they're not serious. Eh? Okay. Let they go. Instead of paying KARPOWERSHIP for electricity supply, instead of just not say then say the people that will get Global Times, then the lens so then they use now for the power government. I mean I just read waiting and say, Then say instead of finance for pay KARPOWERSHIP for electricity supply, some people at the Ministry of Finance, them busy they pay other debts then. Where APC government be don't go take since 2008. Then say, now a civil society activist, now him be talk that word today. Eh? That's what they see. Alright. Tijan Keller said, Triple I hope the president will listen to this program because this program is very important. I know say if you ask the president for Triple he go sabi, then go don't tell and say, nani, now that other side day. You got right now, every day, then they make audio for Triple. Say Triple na bad sababu, Triple they against the government. But then they get the good thing, what would they do? Anyway, we fly. Let's continue. Listen, on the 11th of November 2021, the Ministry of Energy, in your minister, when Alhaji Kanja Sise, then begin delegation, we come out Turkey, Can Salon, and at the KARPOWERSHIP people them. So this thing be done they play. Hey, Papa God. So the ship be even call management them for come. For certain people are not pay we they not pay we. So we each day waiting the minister been say that Sunday where the delegation come. He say in the telling thank you for them patients where they don't the patients we. For the delay, we don't delay for pay the subsidy from the government in own side. Shame. Shame on Sierra Leone. Shame. And provide service for we. An institution provide service for we. Then get for let we complain to them big alejo them. Not to salon no more car power ship do. Not to salon no more. Then other African countries then too. And I bet you they know the face waiting and the face on a salon. For make them call big alejo say una come. 30 then no grip we. No the minister they tell thank you. Say the patient one I don't patient to me. Hey! Hey Papa God. Who that do we ba? Who that do we? Hi. Anyway, KARPOWERSHIP, I think the tanky done November 30th. The first they say that tanky done, I keep on to myself. This will they switch them off. And I saw them do. Then say a senior member of the ruling SLPP, they won the Ministry of Finance for treat this electricity issue now Western area with utmost seriousness where it due. And as a matter of fact, with the kind priority for making top priority for pay the money. They say because what to do? One of the reasons where SLPP be lost election 2007 now as a result of the rampant blackout where be then a Freetown. They say then go continue for follow up this wire. I want light na Sierra Leone. I want light today. Me, I want light. And I mean sustainable light. Sustainable light. And say people that will be getting old generator. Right now, then generator mechanic, they all they busy tickly. Now all the area them now diggly. Generator up and on all side. Eh? That's so don't they now. So don't they now in the country. Who will fix this? Now December this. Now festive season this. We don't need this. We get so much for deal with. Not another blackout, boy. This bigger wodepa. This Manjalaji. This what? Not forget say this na businessman. We can do business na Sierra Leone. It's a shame in 2021 if ship turn light off, we are in total darkness. We mean to say nothing we not get for keep we city light up. Sad. Sorryful. Nashine. Hey, saloon. No bueno. Not at all. Not good. The ministry we concern. Eh? The ministry we concern. Do ya? Or they ask una for try for fix this. If na something una suspect not that they have about 7 months now all the people I tell ya. 7 months. Say them bring the I will be listening a big alejo then the board members then. Some of them are then fly go salon so. For go ask when una they pay their money. What if the ship turn back? Say no thing good to do. I would don't go. Na so. God save Sierra Leone. the people of Sierra Leone for make them do the right thing. Why I say the people? Everybody. Yeah? And they talk no more say now the ministry, now this. No. Everybody for do the right thing at the country. So that we will get a better land, man. A December to be mellow, to be jolly. Some of you in a road they go. Look how salon hot put down yonder. You get generator safe. How much for fuel? The last time, me na 2020 liter they buy 140. Now I don't check them. Now 200,000, 60,000. I don't go pan tap. Eh? God, we are in your care. But every day it's getting. But still yet, me Triple A no go give up Salone for any other side. Trust me on that. That's why I would speak up. You see something, say something. Because I love Salone to the best. Trust me. In every area. I make you want the one that they put the for do the right thing. I make you they do it in we they do. Now Saturday, let's begin come with we panelists then. Eh? Welcome on board, friend. You get the platform, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Triple A. And thanks to all the listeners and viewers in here for the weekend. And let God continue for help we. That we were able to get the answer we ask that get for help we. That get for help we look say politicians in choice and political decisions, and together with we the citizens and which we able for understand and we own part for play. There is a big thing for play, and we get a lot to play for. It's a lot we did at the table we will get for play and what we get for play for. But here is the issue of how we will develop the country. But would they look politicians and we get for find people that we get socially minded domestic trade links. And that socially minded domestic trade link now go able for help we inside international trade, how we go get international relationship for help or business for let you go before. Now those socially minded politicians now that we need now any society. And when we have those socially and economically minded individuals, they were able for transform what we get na Salone so that you go able for push you before. First to be try to talk about this issue of this let's just not put more this Omicron. The Omicron, I believe say it gets a concern and a variant of concern who all man don't call on the WHO and so on. Because the first specimen we then collect on the 9th of November, that they then able for do this genomics and the sequence, then for sure how they take in the shape, how in body they change in pattern, they change in shape, they change towards the treatment. And the shape what you get for match with the treatment. But in the final stage, it can change, can get boku pattern them, boku shape. So all nine genomics out in the see time by time, then they sequence them. So if I now say waiting now, then they do, it's an issue of buying time. I'm waiting at this buying time because they don't know much about this variant yet. The only three things we don't know first, the variant, like troubling mutation, that like the change in pattern. I feel say the other one, now the variant, it don't in a Boku country. Then the second one we don't know better. Then we don't know say it transmit very fast. And South Africa it invade more. So in terms of waiting it get for do with the vaccine, then they question them. So why then they buy this time? Then they buy the time because of then they do them by stopping people for travel. Yeah, least country they don't for go. While then they do this process where they try to get the virus itself Then they try for grow am inside the lab, then they modify am, clone and that now for change am. And then they do am with wetin they call pseudo virus, and like false virus, they grow together with that virus. But what they do now, they grow and then they put the use was when in medical terms in a covalence plasma, then that convalescence plasma, that plasma, the blood when they pull from them people who don't well from the virus and they get immunity. So when they put on the that lab process, then they take monoclonal antibodies. Then which one are them wire? Then are the one then who they don't make, then a treatment who we don't make from other person who we don't get this virus, COVID virus, the initial COVID. Then they put all that in there, and then they even put antibodies there and other things there for test the vaccine them back where they don't get inside this thing. But all those things they try for do, now for trial and see if the vaccine, the virus go able for neutralize this thing where they don't put pan there. So that they go able for know if how the vaccine they would they make if you go work panel or not. So now that process they then deeper now and call a molecular configuration for know the mutation and so on and so forth. But all that they do now for know if the thing they work with the vaccine the way they or how it transmit if it infectious more. But the infectious, it not look infectious too much yet, but they want to see how far the vaccine and work with them. So during this process of waiting, because it can take up to 10 days. So now the 9th of November, they been actually see them, but they don't start the process for check now. So which was about a week ago. So the process is ongoing while they try to get the result from this. Because now South Africa they forget the result. They say they suffer now because they do their own goodness for still we tell the world say we don't see this mutation. So leaving that side now, and looking small at the area outside, and they talk about this area of these fraudulent attitudes and people in wayward and they use the internet, it brings me down to citizens, their own behavioral attitude. Because you get political attitude, they get social attitude. The political attitudes, now they talk about the political choice who the people and they try for the politician they make, and then the political decision they make for their development. Okay, are they based on areas where na development, or are they projecting it based on the mathematics and we on the GDP what we get, which we able forget for we able for pay certain debt to them. And you find out, say, even the Turkish, what even make them get this problem now of pressing on? That's how they face a problem of the lira, when are the money. If I talk right now, the money value don't drop drastically. The value to the US dollar and the EU, I mean the euro. So now the first time this done those, the bank actually what's the bank, their own bank they do cause I'm go just charge the now monetary policies. The bank decides for cut interest rates, who will able for make let people and take loan. But the guy for now say maybe that people don't take more loans. But this is another factor again. Not only make them they ask for the money, but when they not pay you. But these are all the problems they will force now their man they are because they have the value of the money, they get for change into dollars for them they will forgo because of that fixed rate, because there is no fixed rate now a floating rate. Now the problem now they happen with their money towards the dollar. So that's all the factors again. And then we own decision and political choice the way they get. Are we going to choose something where we need or not something where we want? And when we look at these two areas of what we need and what we want, you find out say now that area of wanting, most of the time development don't they go for the past years, and sometimes again the other area apart from wanting now the low quality and the amount of investment when they put on particular projects for let it go finish or let it done with the timeline management so people are not able for know at all the timeline management of the bumbuna will not know how far it go, then they project them towards like the Ivory Coast or whatever I call another extension will get for commodity country we and they get for past remember Liberia. And knowing what in Liberia do with the electricity, they not get anything on the infrastructure we get for pass with that thing they for come. While we don't they begin they build we on for let it go meet up for bring them, then no they make them. So you find out say all that one day international relationship, how we not go able to forget decision them and the choice they wanna go make for certain things them for say we choose for let we get from Ivory Coast, or would they choose for get from the power ship, or would they choose for get say like offshore wind? Forget wind power, electricity, or would you get hydroelectricity, or we one will get for or go for solar. All these are areas of choice based on what we get and what would they do. But when would they say would they do once? And based on what in the GDP we'll get, what we'll get now we coffers, we want in copper we'll get, in order for project for it then here. Now they find out say there is a political stress. This political stress is a very difficult thing for deal with, and it therefore deal with conflict. It therefore highly stressful because the view where you as a politician you get towards a particular issue, now it can look undecisive. It divide back, and when there is a division in those decision making, you find out say because of polarization, where it be say you get set of opinions and beliefs. So that set of opinions and belief, we get the belief say World Bank don't gonna give you a grant. You know about how they see that money they go towards for letting go help with electricity. So we don't begin to buy a fast thing there now. But how then before don't say, well, we now this we need. We'll not go for that one day. Why will not go just transform this money? We look for a cheaper way. We'll be able to get a sustainable electricity. We're now one of the basics for letting go able for pump. But good things, hospital work, if one for can't even put the steel where they can bring electricity get for there at a high voltage for the melt that steel and iron, all those kind of things that you see say now the area of decision making. So you get for decide on what you get, how you go able for transform them. And they decide say for let I go use the power for finish that gumbuna from Salcos then come, other company then come years back for let them go able forget the third phase. And the third phase now for let them go able because the water they come, the other side with the water they come from that river they come with power. So and then need for keep them. So the one who they able for keep now a kind of dam. So now that area is for divert that water they for go keep another other dam there where you go boku for let you go there as a reserve. Whether rain can or rain no can now the level of power where you go pump, you go boku. That one then I the cause delay because it get high risk. But you get for look at expertise. You get for call the expertise. You able this, you go able from this point to this point to this point. Other than we give you say you go done them and then you don't pronounce them from the very start when you begin that sell cost. That was waiting in the air. Say this all they make us so we will begin to sell electricity. Say go outside now then they see electricity come on Ivory Coast. So you find that decision in a revert now because of the choice and how people is done at table for make up the thing they are for let be able for go before. But when that political stress are not able for deal with them, they get duplicate functions. What are they duplicate functions? They begin to get people one person and they do something. Or one thing will be for don't be one thing, then they separate into two, and then they get people and how they get two different beliefs for can make up one. So when you begin to say, oh, I separate the energy from this, and they separate the health from this, or they separate social service or welfare from this child and so on. Sometimes you find out that these are all effects who will make development not go. So you watching that stress that they come, it reflects on the life of the social attitude of people because they know they get what they want. They themselves what they result to people and when they become erratic behavior, then they go begin to cut power this and they begin to go cut this, they begin to get their own behavior for destroy. Now for us, themselves your attitude now part of development. You get for secure waiting and put near you get for look after waiting you get. Equally, the government get for put things in back with sustainable based on una your laws there, what una go put, how una go able for handle them, so that una go able for a kind of una the cut and down, una the clamping that. So you define how the government can therefore try for the look at areas short as this, so that how we go meet social attitudes for letting go become comfortable truths. comfortable truth. You know, they go begin, they tell people them uncomfortable truth. Where it be say the uncomfortable truth, it tell me only after the effects don't come. But some uncomfortable truth is there to be said, where you go tell person back say, this you really don't do bad. You really need for change this attitude so that we go able to get development, so that you go know say the true what they don't tell you in manner, but it look uncomfortable, but there is truth in this. But when they bring an uncomfortable truth, wherein you get for bring an more in terms of for say this issue where they affect this, now because of how they get self-interest. The self-interest now in that want where people and they want for do so that they go able for gain either points or they go gain popularity. And that self-interest there, it can be a problem to all the decision they are which government get for make, to all the choice the whole government get for make, because sometimes then they get want, then they call them present biasness. And the present biasness is not the biggest factor in political science who they disturb decision making. Because that's present biasness, you only look at now. I will say, they look what are able to do now. The power ship go just did it now. You not think of the future. You only think of tomorrow. You might think of tomorrow as a kind of a future. But here, the tomorrow, now the immediate response. After today, not tomorrow. But we're looking at the future, where they stretch them out. So those are the areas where government get for look how they were able to put up the areas and the ideology, the sense what they bring come for letting go say, we not go just do our new theory or we own module, we put on a module where they evolve even sometimes people them where now we own leaders them. When are traditional leaders, we will ask ideas from them, we will ask public opinion, so we will able to know what you wanna choose, what you wanna want for do, what you wanna want for make. So you find out there are many factors who can cause problem. The other area backward I just want for church, now the area of the attitude and the misuse of this social media. And if you find out the social media, it creates a good communication for bringing we folk together. It help for we go able to get informed like you do with so. It even organize community outreach like how doctor can do and other things and they do. It get effort for communicate with people and when your family, your friends share this. But when you deviate from that point of social media, you begin to say, well, I did do them from a point where you know something I want to portray. And what's in that factor there most of the time, you get factors then per social media where inside political, you get political actors in the day, inside anything there, you get the domestic opposition. Look at that domestic opposition. Then now we young people and now, what they get for feel, how you get for bring the social media to them. They find out say, all the factors there, you even ask whether the other actors them, the type of government back where you get, you see how you get for evolve in social media. Why I bring this, you find out the politicians and these things, now social media, you find out say there is a frequency of people and they go on social media and they try for use them for let them go able to get attention. But when sometimes they do them, then they fail all the area they are where they go say, well, Lord, we use them for Lord, we'll bring people in together. Or Lord, we use them for Lord, we'll be able to show people in the responsibility what they go do. Or Lord, we cheat people into social media. But when you begin to get that remote audience, the remote audience will they listen to you from social media. That remote audience, it get different way for let them go get that receptive way. There's some people they get weak reception. You know when they're receptive, they get different ways for change. Then you method for look at a message. And once they get a different method of looking at the message, now they get this disorderly behavior. Then you look at fraud. Inside that one day back, you look at the fraud area of that social media. That day they see say government get for try, then get for look how they go clamp down. Would they call on and they will get idea on technology, artificial intelligence, how the usefulness of farm, we will make things will get shortcuts. Instead of we get shortcut, we will use a shortcut for let will do fraudulent activities. And that area the government get for try look back, we then go able for say, let we help people them for what thing would they do like that, how they respond to something, how would they say the cyber law will work, we will know what thing we will cheat to people them. But if you they get along where in cyber law, you they go for intimidate certain things, or you they create ideas that the social media, then you find out say now part of the cyber law what it be don't say. So you they try for say let we teach our people and go observe the law of the cyber rule. Then you find out something unknowingly because of addiction, because of the area where you don't look say now are not able for limit. What thing are they take from the social media, the news what they take today, or the practice what for practice are for relax. And you get for relax sometimes, and then you recognize your limit. When you recognize your limits on social media, not to everything you go do, because you get from who side you standpoint day. Am I standing from a political view, or you acknowledge people and feelings? But that one day you go find out say government waiting then they do. Let we try say they don't cut down the tape for let we get ready for get started. But would they always ask every day if would they head towards a solution or an action where you go able for read for interest where it will be say you get the ingredients for development, or with the edge to an area wherein a stagnation. One progress based on what they bring. So that will go for the knock on doors, will bring we own ideas from those doors we are knocking. We knock doors for letting we give you money, then we use them intelligently. We knock doors, let we get support, technical help, let we change them so that we will become self-reliant. So that we not go for what we want, we will go for what the country need. Let God continue for help we leaders them so that they go able to get a knowledge of how they go lead we so that we go able to come up by this. Let God help we and let God give leaders them wisdom and understanding. Thank you very much for giving me the platform, and let God continue for help we and will lead us for lead we through. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, us friend.
You're welcome, yes, sir.
Yeah. Welcome with Doctor. Make we waiting and get for you. Welcome on board, Dr. Isatuka Kejalo. You get the platform.
Yes, hi. Good evening. Good morning to many others. I know it's late for many other part of the world, but we want to say thank you to you for the, descriptions of all the different things and what we did deal with today. And thanks to Us friend, to the listeners them and the viewers them on Facebook, and the one that we get for listening afterwards. We really want to say many thanks to all Sierra Leoneans them. We the Canada's platform for understand say what to discuss now and issues that we get to deal with country Sierra Leone. As we always voice we concerns them about things and what we need. I think it makes sense for make we highlight say this platform, they always share credible information there about the country. And the goal here is to bridge the gap between the diasporas and those within Sierra Leone. Those things and we everybody for understands in a factual news. Then they come up. And I just want to start, really, it's important that I start with that. For the one that then they take time for make audio and make it seems like what would they discuss now, or people them now this platform are one-sided. I just want to let you understand, say that's wrong, because that's not accurate. We didn't also we always talk about things and where we know say one party they do we not right. And if you don't follow the platform, you go know say there are days then we'll see say this particular political party now they don't do wrong. We address that issue there. And for we don't feel say now one-sided. We take and say Sierra Leone now we represent. And I believe say for any leader in our country or any government where they rule, this should be the platform where you want to listen to, for let you get the critical aspect of things and for let you learn from things. Because we know they don't want to say, you know what, within the country, and then you know what, if we talk bad, you know, this thing will happen. So I really want to let people then spend their time for do better things than for Sierra Leone, rather than making audios to attack people's personality and really trying to discourage others from coming and saying the truth. But I know, like Mickey always say, I know say me own views them and me own take it different. Right. But for me, all that matters is Sierra Leone, just as we always talk about. We come to humanitarian work for we Salone matter. And in this platform, nobody know they pay now. So anybody, everybody where they come, they do them out of their own genuine, you know, work, you know, then time, then they sacrifice and time and effort just for Kana people, and they listen to the program attentively because they feel say that not the right thing for do, you know. And the person will start this whole program when at AAA, I'm sure nobody know they pay at the end of the month, you know. So Lord just take calm, Lord try to understand for all the one that way they listen right now. Me when I done tomorrow, I go now social media on a tick, but just no more way to do that. I know how to address things like that. But I just feel say I need to get that off my chest first, and then let's go to the topic for the day. Starting with the COVID-19, the Omicron, where it be seen at the new variant COVID-19, where we don't talk about to we fellow Sierra Leoneans, them to we so people them around the world, you know, for make we be cautious, make we take the vaccine, make we take the booster if we eligible for that. And me when they talk to now, no say I take COVID-19 vaccine, both COVID-19 vaccine doses. 8 months later, I end up with COVID-19, you know, virus. Me symptoms them be milder. I'm not being get, you know, severe symptoms. But, you know, even that mild symptom, it really hit me down because I've been in the house for 10 days. And people that will be watch me, you will know, even from my facial expressions, say that COVID-19 really hits me, right? So, and it don't stop there. You know, I even get, you know, 2 of my children that will end up with the COVID-19 virus. And one of them actually, we don't take the vaccine. So I just encourage everybody for take all the necessary precaution for make you protect yourself. Always again, I say vaccine now one thing. Yes, you may not get 100% protection, but that 50 to 60 up to 95% immunity or protection where they get, they help you in case you end up for be among those people them we can contract the virus even after vaccination. And I will also mention after the vaccine, you know, and also after contracting COVID-19 virus, me antibody level being really rose to a greater number. So basically I end up with better immunity because my body be able for fetam. Even when them be encourage me where I get the virus for take the immunotherapy, you know, for get some kind of treatment, I decline the treatment. Why I decline that treatment? I take and say I don't get vaccinated before, and also I try follow my body fed this virus here. So the next time if I come in contact with the virus, I will be fetam without no problem, without even being infected with it, right? So I really encourage people then for understand, say, every day COVID-19, different one then go come. We're going to live with now we environment, and we just need for continue for the wash we and them continue for the wear mask within a place where we know say it, you know, it crowded, and also the social distancing in those type of environment like you mentioned where political parties they don't win, then they forget say COVID-19 still there. So it makes sense for a lot of people to take that precaution during the 10 and they celebrate, when they jubilate about things them. Because I feel say, you know, if we can all do that, despite waiting they go on with Omicron right now, you know, we go able to cut down, you know, the spread, the way how it affects people them. We see how Delta been deal with India, and we really the hope say COVID-19, even though it seems like it's gonna live within us, but now we find ways and measures them for tap them, for make sure say in order within, you know, close proximities of people, gathering crowds. You can gather you crowd, but just know say you still therefore implement all the things that we don't talk about before. And then, law know say the vaccine available to anybody from 5 to 11. And also we know say the vaccine now is FDA approved, because I know people then be they take and say, oh, because they still they can do research, they're not doing enough studies yet, dynamic and all they take them. So now say you can actually take the vaccine, for knowing that then they don't do study, they don't approve it, they don't go through all the clinical trials, and they don't approve it, and picking them from 5 years old and above can get COVID-19 vaccine. And law we understand say, yes, there's these controversies about people them, forget the booster dose. So yes, people them when need forget this booster dose. We know we don't talk about time. If you not possibly get cancer, you're on high dose steroids, you don't take transplant, treatments. Definitely you are at high risk, you get cancer, you get multiple other neurological conditions, them kidney problem. They encourage you for take the booster dose. The first and second dose, and then can say again, if you get Pfizer, you can take Moderna as your booster dose, or you get Moderna, you can get Pfizer. So then can do that. It's authorized for let them use them. So let we understand, saying I think them will for put, no say we health nine come first, because so many things that they go on as somebody in life, if you're not healthy, or like so many things that you go want for do, if you're not healthy, go for do that. And me encouragement to people that I know where you talk about the hacking of the system, or like the wrong website where you can try for say, now the site this way for go, and the NACOVAC don't pull a press statement about this. But I would just encourage everybody, if you're not possible to travel na salon, there's an app when at sltravel.gov. You can download that app there in your phone, because I don't use them several times within all this time where I did travel, and it did it, so once you don't upload certain information them about you, I think say it's much easier the next time we get for visit the app for travel. So definitely excuse me, you go, for try for make you do that, so that nobody will try for steal information or send you something we not accurate. And the other thing with the pepper spray, when a safety concern for people them, if the police feel say na something where they don't allow people then use for their safety, so let them they patrol the city, especially when say this place is crowded, this not busy time. It makes sense look get police officers them where they guard people them, for make sure say them people they not go jog them bag, jog them phone. With the pepper spray, which I be the try for say, definitely police officers then need for protect the citizens then, because now that now their role and responsibility now the country, because doing so we can really help in how we could maintain people and safety. While in a salon, if like the window they down, you see, or the anyway somebody where you with now from salon where then they stay, they always say, put the window up, this place is too crowded, and go jog your bag now, no your phone, like you get so many things and what they tell you, so it's scary. So definitely with the ask and with the call on the police officers them for make sure say then they protect the citizens them now busy moment, crowded places. And also for make sure say if they say you need to get some form of training before you they use pepper spray, so go hurt yourself, hurt somebody, let them provide the training, and provide the training not only to the one them where they use them, but also to the one them we get for sell them. So then self will be the one for pass on the knowledge or the teaching to the people them will go buy the pepper spray. Then it brings me to the sensor counting, where it be say, even though now like a mid sensor, me not they against this. I believe say law would go with them, and we encourage every Sierra Leonean or anybody within a salon for make sure say you get counted. The only problem with this whole thing now the APC. They don't know when for make noise. What I mean by that, things them waiting for make noise for, they need to make noise for those things. Then they only make noise for things them waiting can want turn into a political campaign, So definitely not to something for go begin to tell people them pull a statement say, oh, you know what? If they can you do not act like say you not salt, you don't need for be counted. I just think say that then are just some kind of unprofessional way of dealing with this type of things. If you feel say then do something we're not constitutional, we're not to the right thing for do, this particular government they do, and something where you be don't do before. Or maybe there is something, in my view, maybe there is something where we're not doing not being correct. Now we're not let it expose that. So then kind of thing, and you don't need for tell any citizen of the country, say, just because you're not APC, so you don't need for the part of the censor. How you help for it help the country for let it grow, for let it develop? How you willing and ready for work with the other political party? And what about when you self kind of power, the APC come back now the power? How they expect for let the other party work with them? So now then two party are then really the disgrace with country in the way then they do things and the way they feel say waiting over them way, then they need for make noise. Make noise for things them way it be say you need for make noise for. Why you don't go to parliament and begin to talk about, how we go make sure say we healthcare system, it did well for every Sierra Leonean. How it go make sure say, or we go make sure say, the electricity problem what they deal with currently, we go voice and bring concern. Say, you know what? I think say, even though we been to do this, but you know what? Now this same thing when I don't copy, but we be they do much better in terms of electricity. Then kind of you can come at the public and talk about not a way they want to do a census counting. We get nothing to do with you work as a bipartisan, now the country for let the country go before. So definitely APC, I don't think you're making noise on the right things here. You need to make noise on things that are really, really important in the country. And then when you talk about the electricity, you ask a question, what would I do with triple A? Would I do with now we self we Sierra Leoneans and now we do it self, because now we know they take the right things and for put the people them where they need for the day for make sure that they do the right things and for we. And also people them where they pay light right now in a salon, business owners them, they suffer the consequences of things and where some Sierra Leoneans then they do way not correct where it comes to the electricity part. And then again, we talk about the current administration for the failure to give us sustainable electricity, yet then they constantly use the funds them for things and where they're not supposed to use them for, because they're not set the priorities them right. The priorities are lacking, and I make would they go through all the issues they are so, and it's really horrible for the student kind here. They go on day in day out in the country. Definitely setting the priorities in the country is key, and it will help in how we go move the country for go before. Instead of spending the money on unnecessary trips overseas and not really doing the right thing for Sierra Leone. And then again, waiting at the problem here, getting our own way, whose friends highlight. To me, that's not the key thing here. All this money they spend on this KARPOWERSHIP. KARPOWERSHIP supposed to be a backup, not something where for the give light on a daily basis. Bumbuna don't they don't start this hydro in process. We still talk about getting into the third phase where go really give electricity in the country. We get different rivers them or water them where they run through the country where we know say okay, able to use them. Spend the money you say you need for spend them so that you go able for help and give the country sustainability of electricity, and then that's not the way to go, rather than keeping with country as a darkest nation, right? Especially we're talking about the capital city. You can't sometimes you just come on an airport, for example, or you come on another country, even not by road, even if from Guinea, Liberia, or Ivory Coast, then the first thing where they see, if light not there that day in a darkness, now they sleep in. I don't know how government go sleep going to bed knowing that in your home or then your home it has 24-hour electricity, and then go to sleep with the thoughts and the I don't know how a person will sleep like that. Now not to understand. If you say you they rule a nation, you get to understand say it's not just about you, it's about everybody in that nation, whether this person are one side political person or not. The moment you take that oath. The oath says they serve all Sierra Leoneans. So it's very important that they go back to the drawing board, whatever things that we don't put in place. I'm talking about current administration and anyone with therefore can follow this administration. Salon law continue for set with priorities them right and do the right things them where be say the basic human needs them we can meet them. All this stagnation now because of the lack of electricity, the lack of water, the lack of healthcare, the lack of sanitation at the country. Dirty. There we talk about malaria, we talk about typhoid, we talk about hepatitis, you name it, all them different tumors than what they seen at the country. We picking them. Let's take a look at them and ask ourselves, is this what we really want for the next generation coming to Sierra Leone or growing up in Sierra Leone? And how people and nobody left the country for they try for risk their life and go through water, just that temple run for Duam, because then they take and say the country too slow. Even when they try for move, you work hard, there's nothing happening. It is sad, it is pathetic, it is shameful, it is disgraceful, and I'm sure those of you politicians listening to me right now should take these measures and start listening and doing things right rather than, condemning each other. Work together for once, for crying out loud, because this is really a shame and disgrace to our nation's development. With that, I really want to take this conversation to humanity. When a Sarah Network Charity Foundation, where we always do a fundraising for a specific donations and what we can do around January. And if they listen to some of the jingles and what they play right before this program, and you get the opportunity, you go on our website, when at sncfny.org, or if you didn't at the Sarah Network website, you check on the charity page, see some of the good things and what we don't do as a charity foundation. Just within a year and a half, we've made differences in different communities them, and we want to continue this, and we want to do this with your support. If you not be don't join, we not be don't donate to Sarah Network Charity Foundation, call any of the numbers them where we announce during the program for make calls, or you go on the website, you donate through PayPal. We get different things and we go entice you, go encourage you, go make for let you one day part of it, this group. And we get a WhatsApp group where we don't set up from where we open this charity or we'll start this charity. People then waiting within the charity go attest to you, say we are transparent, we are a non-profit, there's nothing that we do that is not out there. We always say, we do there, we talk and we outline everything. So I really want to encourage you, if you not ever donate to Sarah Network Charity Foundation, no matter how small it is, we get a 2022 January donation drive where they come up, we get different things and we put in place. We want for donate to people them in Sierra Leone, so we want for let you be part of it. So with that, I will left me discussion out today, and the hope say Sierra Leone go better, and hashtag Salon strong and hashtag Salon for better and rise again. Please, Sierra Leoneans, let's work together. Let's look at the unity, freedom, and justice is our motto in Sierra Leone, and that's something we can all embrace and count on. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
You're welcome.
Let's come with Tony. Make we waiting in get for a quick one. Welcome on board, Tony Tuge Jones. You get the platform.
Yeah, Abraham, thanks for having me. Christian Cabo from them. I'll go try for make a brief because so much has been said already by Doctor and those friends. And the area we me go and talk on more now, the area we therefore deal with power. So many times, callers, we step when our contributors there, I think everybody don't express concern over power because the different parts of the world they would live, if they call them place in the first world countries, the thing we make them be first world now because there is 24-hour power supply. Because we all know the importance. And most times when they say this thing there, the ship normally is not a sustainable plan. How you expect the whole factory, the whole companies, the industries, who can rely on ship, where not even produce industrial power. You understand? That's not the first time they begin get everything wrong. You understand? They should have think out of the box and look at the cost. You understand? That money we do not spend for 5 years, or we didn't get for spend for 5 years or 3 years. That money they, that initial deposit they can be used for make they able to get a better sustainable plan put in place for power supply. You get JICA. JICA is a Japanese company. This is one company we on the help Salon for a very long time in terms of power supply. You understand? But probably you can even make an arrangement before they go arrange with the Chinese for other things that were not relevant. Talk to them, make them invest in power supply. There's so much potential, so much huge money where governments will able to generate from power supply. Just like we the car with the toll gate. Even if that car arrangement say they may get steps stay, come and run your power supply. Sierra Leone go pay for 13 years ago, plant Sierra Leone. It's much more better off than which would see so. Because it's not sustainable. Bumbuna a project, it's like to me a waste of all these years, money or resources we don't use on that project day. It's like you not visible any longer. Now we for the take out of the box, remember for shared lights, for sell lights to other country. Rather than we sit on the wait for Ivory Coast light for camp, for power, the rural, I mean the regional areas and what they talk about. Oh, that should ship down to be a sustainable plan. Government for don't think outside this and make a one and for all solution. That for don't go down na the Guinness Book of Records say when this government administration, the MBO administration come, they lead to rest power supply. Whereas this has been the cry for over 60 years from independence. That's not the thing who want me they feel say it will happen. But they came to power, they rely on the power of the ship where they're not sustainable. Oh, look at how business people in the supply. Anything, there's so much revenue where they're going for generate in terms from power supply. All these mobile companies where they talk about, all them BTS then where they get their station there. You understand? If their sites and they all connect to MPA or EDSA, now more revenue for them. You know, possibly outside because you get certain roadsides them where they EDSA no day. But major towns and villages like Abo, Kenema, McKinney, and Kono, Freetown, all the areas in the Togo and Waterloo, they said if power supply the now revenue, now past revenue for waiting. They have to think out of the box. They imagine communities where they come up, there is no light. Areas and then people they go buy their own pole, go buy their own cable, buy their own whatever. Then draw lights car. It should have been their own area. They get research and development units where they research or market units where they go, they do a research and visibility study on new area where they emerge. So by the time when the house and they come to their place and the structure already done in place now for just draw lights go inside use. If you get all that kind of plans they put in place, people don't know go thief lights because the more people you get using the power, the more revenue you get, the cheaper it will be. But you have only few industries, I mean, it's only few people who get power. So you find out that they feel the burden. The burden is rest upon them. Because all these MTAs, all these institutions, the winner government-owned institution, they are not paying power supply on time. They're not. Take the barracks, for example. All the barracks, police barracks, military barracks, all them barracks, then they lie to them, they consume it, man. Government not they even pay for them power then on time. So all that in are bad debts. If you look at the balance sheet of EDSA, you really see the leakages. The talk of the revenue. Now government back the bonner. Chunk of the money where they for the generate for run this power supply. Now government, so because they cannot pay on time, they cannot even pay some workers salaries. So who feels the burden is the ordinary man then way there. So once the power high, the power supply high, what you expect? How much if because imagine the man as he buy 50,000, look what you know. Who buy light to start with the under. Before they make it done. So what thing will be that my alternative if not the get money or not the get money? The alternative, you go camp for learn can see flights. But there again, if the law and order today, where you know say there is precedence on people then when they see flights, we don't know go do it. But you have companies, even the industry, the small factory, the organ as salon like Salon Brewery and others, they are running on generator. You pass na Salon Brewery and get past two big plants where they that they all na pollution. They have big plants where they work standby because what make they get the beer and malts and whatever within a tank. Why not for not for day without power? It could well because now the tank they when they Apollo tank they now like a fridge. They need power supply 24/7. All the thing they did are lost revenues. It's a way generator start. Now lost revenue to government. Because imagine say if people don't know they run generator and they rely on government lights, it's the revenue for them. They have to look at this thing holistic and see the viability where they power. All these government areas where government for make money, where for make money left for go big. Now they treat with levity. They treat with levity in Sierra Leone. We all know. Look how telecom expensive in Sierra Leone. Mobile companies are making money. Private companies are making money. We own left by the die. All you hear in them, they must come out with them sabi all na privatization. When you privatize, private man can run at the expense of the ordinary man with exorbitant costs, increase the cost of people there. Why we not go take up with certain things there where we know say these are gray areas, these are opportunities, these are areas we can tap into. The public transport. Areas that a viable area where you know say if government for more than less than 10 million population able for build those institutions, God, there's the people where we sabi now party where they build institutions, not a party where they kill institutions. Now party where they nurture institution and make it become a viable investment like a nasty thing. But people don't they think out of the box, say, let us build institutions. Areas and there's so many areas. Run them like private business. Put the right people in the right place. Less government involvement. If money no go come out. If government no go money no go come out, become very competitive and get salaries. And see. So when you put everything, you clouded everything with politics, you find out all the things them just like where Doctor me they say APC, all the fights they're fighting, it's all on their own interest. It's all on their own interest. Even they're not saying anything for this power supply. They're not saying anything where good. They're not able to cry say, hey, health system na the country. Within all the areas that were pitfalls, all the areas were challenging areas for the masses. They will not say anything on that. All their concern is they look and say, oh, how they can make sense also. Now for can increase the number in the area for increase consistency in MP position and whatever. They're not looking at all the parties, they're not looking at the interests of the people. No. They're not looking at the masses. All their focus is about the real selfish business. Then we expect Stallone for go before. No, with that kind of mentality, there is no way we can go further. We go just to go round circle. It's just like the vicious circle of poverty. Every day at the same cry, every day at the same cry. And from Ogbo, you listen to him asking all the music that we don't begin sing for Pakabai days. It's Alex and I started just singer. The same problem compounded every day. The same problem. I mean, it's high time then government here what they get. Make them strive for begin think out of the box and make something sustainable. Because they don't government for make money. Oh, institution. You no need for tell you. When they talk about the bobo then at street, the youth then at street institution. If we get government factory where they make wood or post your carpentry. That factory there where they make table and chair, they go to supply our government schools there. We go make it go cost less on government for beginning buy chair. It go able make them able supply government offices there, good desk and table, good quality things and good quality material. We go less cost. Then guy they self go get money. At the end of the day, even at cost recovery, they know say at the end of the month they get salary. Institution just need for think that's how the world they change. Revolutionize everything. Think global, get progressive thinking. Yeah, other countries that they say they make the mask. Even Ghana, when COVID test, now they make the mask. You see, they get textual institutions. We don't have any. Would they wait for IMF and World Bank conditionalities? They've never been a positive thing in Africa. All their thing is like adverse effects on the local people. This government needs for think. This is less than 10 million population. APC fails for think or the entire. They get fatigue, brain fatigue. So they pay the price. This is the consequence they pay for. They have brain fatigue, so they pay for it. And it's as if SLPP self don't get the same brain fatigue. And if they're not be careful, they will pay the same price again where APC pay. These people are not fool. They need a better life. We all they go now, they want enough for generator. I don't call me party, they ask us, but how much for a generator there? For let man get something for use because you know where will be. It makes some of they even able to do now. So then a club same morning because you go now house now so you go the fan so generator they make us man people there. You get that time thoughts and they if some man they able to because generator later I get noise. All them thoughts and you get for go. The mama say you get for go in a club now all day. You go for go rest. Instead of you rest, you're not able to get them for rest. Lights not there wherever. You go sit on a club because the host boring. Nobody now will go enjoy the host day. Government needs for think, man. I mean, you don't take 7. Then get brain fatigue. Let us tell us.
Thank you very much, Tony.
You're welcome, Abraham.
Yeah. I want to say thanks to Tony Toure Jones, Dr. Isatuka Kejalo, and Usfen Kamara for their submission today.